Hello, everyone. Um, this is Dr. Victoria Skirbo. I know who I am. I was going to say something different at the beginning, but I'll stick with what you always hear. I'm here speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts, and we have reached September. And today I'm going to do the astrology, Kabbalah, numerology of the month of September for 2021. And what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna do the Kabbalah, working with the Tree of Life, what chakras are activated, and then I'm gonna do the first 10 days or so of September. And then in my next video, I'm gonna do I'll just do the next week after that for September, because there's a lot of stuff happening and a lot of things to cover. So I want to be as precise as I can be of seeing that the sun is in Virgo, and that's a thing for Virgo. And I do have my own Virgo in my chart. So I do aspire to get things as best I can, let's put it that way. So let's get started with the month. Okay, so let's get started. So of course, we're doing the astrology of September 2021, part 1, the numerology of September. So every month we look at the monthly vibration, we review the yearly vibration, and then we look at the combination of those two numbers, which adds up to the month and year, right? So September 2021. The monthly vibration is a 9 vibration, right? So because September is the 9th month. The yearly vibration, as we know, 2021 adds up to a 5, and then if we add the 9 and the 5 together, we get a 14-5 vibration. Now, 9 symbolizes the spirit energy, fully conscious, wisdom attained and complete. The energy of the vision. September in its way has that vibration within it, vibration of wisdom. I kind of always wisdom anyway, because that's when school started. And for somebody who spent a lot of years in school, of which I enjoyed. I really enjoyed school. I really enjoyed learning. 9 was, this time of year was always a special time of like getting excited about learning, right? So that is seen in that 9 vibration of wisdom. 5, this is the universal year vibration, is the number of progress and growth. For without change, there is stagnation. So 5 is the number of change. And we have change over this year, and we've only been through 8 months of it. So now 9th month, the baby gets born at the 9th month. And then when we add these 2 vibrations together, we get the vibration. According to Jean, and I get this information that I have here from Spiritual Light Vibration, Numerology, Spiritual Light Vibrations by Jean. And she states that 14-5 is one of the great destroyer and transformational vibrations. It usually expresses this energy on the physical plane. New original ideas and innovative concepts must be put into form to bring experiences of freedom and change in the outer plane. The spiritual lesson here, and I think this is important, is to have and to hold, then to let go and still stand victorious. it's interesting because in its way, and I don't want to bring too much politics into this, and whatever your opinion is, what I'm going to say is your opinion and you have a right to it. So I'm not arguing anything about this. But it's almost like the whole Afghanistan experience on one level, to have and to hold and then to let go and still stand victorious, right? So that could be true of us, or it could be true of the Afghanis, right? I mean, we're only there for 20 years, only 20 years. They've been there, you know, since they've been there. So, all right. So let's take a look at the tarot cards again that are associated with these vibrations. We've seen this tarot card every month because it is the universal year vibration. And that is the 5, which is the Hierophant card. The Hierophant card is associated with the sign of Taurus. And in September, of course, Uranus is in Taurus. This is the path. Well, of course, Uranus is in Taurus for 7 years, starting in, what was it, 2018 or 2017? Uranus went into Taurus for the first time. So this is the path of clear audience, clear hearing. This is where we hear the small, still voice within. But in order to do that, we must quiet our minds. We need to move out of the chaos of the situation. Now, with Uranus and Taurus disrupting all that has been most stable in our lives, it's a little harder to find that sort of peace. Really, the only place you can really, looking around, probably the few places that you can find peace is within yourself. And you can find places in nature where you can connect with that rhythm. But there are a lot of places in nature that are being very expressive at this time. So there's that as well. This particular card is associated with traditional religions, but also associated with spiritual practice. It is considered a traditional card, but there are different traditions. A tradition doesn't simply mean Judeo-Christian. Tradition doesn't mean patriarchal religions. There are patriarchal religions. There are traditions from mystery schools. There are many, many traditions. And these traditions are based on, and I guess ultimately for us to connect with our own higher self, which is in this, and I love this particular card for the Hierophant because you see behind this shaman who is laughing, right? This stairway up to the higher realms, Okay, so the 9 vibration is the vibration of the Hermit card. This is associated with the sign of Virgo. In September, the Sun and Mars are in Virgo. Mars does shift into Libra, I believe, on the 14th. But so for the first 2 weeks or so, we have Mars in Virgo. And then the Sun is in Virgo 22nd when the Sun moves into Libra. We have a new moon in Virgo. That vibration of the new moon on the 6th is a 20/2 vibration, which is the Great Awakener. It's an awakening vibration. For some people, the new moon is on the 7th, and that would be a 21/3 vibration, which is a number of manifestation. So you will, depending on where you are, in awakening for you, or it can be a manifestation, a time of manifestation, a time of giving birth. So it does depend on where you happen to be as the vibrational energy shifts, right? This is the card of compassion, wisdom, and standing alone. You have climbed the mountain. Now you must shine your light to be the way shower. This energy is an energy of healing. There are a lot of people in distress right now. People that are expressing that distress in some cases, violent ways, but a lot more people just not knowing where to turn and where to look and what to look at, and trying to make sense of a world that seems like it's lost its freaking mind. So you must shine your light. You must share your knowledge. You must be compassionate. You must love your enemies, like Jesus said, right? Love thine enemies. Love thy neighbor as thyself, which I think oftentimes people do. It's just that they don't like themselves that much. So it's important that you learn to love yourself as well. The compassion that you offer others must be the compassion that you also offer yourself. Okay. And then the 14-5. This is the Temperance card. This is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. In September, the south node of the moon and Juno, the asteroid goddess Juno, is in Sagittarius. This card, the Temperance card, in the tree of life, the Sephiroth of the sun and the Sephiroth of the moon. It is found on the path that bridges to the lower self via what is described as the path of the mystic. This is a path of spiritual initiation, the path of out change, walking the straight and narrow, tempering your actions, a need for balance in keeping your eyes forward and putting one foot in front of the other. It's very important when we're in a 14-5 vibration, whether it be a temporary monthly it's one of your majors, or it happens to be a number that you are experiencing 9-year period of time or a 27-year period of time, whatever that period of time is. It really is important that you do not get caught up in extremes. It's as if you're walking a tightrope. You need all your concentration to put one foot in front of the others. Distracted, right? You can fall the wire, as it were, right? So it's important to focus, and the focus for this is your life purpose? Is what are you here to do? It connects the moon to the sun on the tree of life, which we'll see, because we'll see where it sits on the tree of life. But your sun is your life purpose. The moon is how you react and respond. You're walking the path between the sun and the moon, aligning yourself with the sun and the moon. So if we look at the tree of life as to where these vibrations fall, the first vibration, the universe, we'll start with the universal year, is on this path right here. This path is the path of the Hierophant, and it is associated with the sign of Taurus. And so we have Taurus, we have Uranus sitting this path, Uranus. It connects your third eye chakra with your throat chakra. It connects Chokmah, which is wisdom, with Hesed, which is mercy. The mercy of wisdom and the wisdom of mercy. And so we're being required to have mercy. Have mercy. Have mercy. Sorry. The 9 vibration is along this path right here. This is the path of the hermit. It connects Chokmah, wisdom, with Tiphareth, beauty, the beauty of wisdom and the wisdom of beauty. Actually, no, that's not, I'm sorry, that's not right. I make mistakes sometimes. This is the path, the 9 right here. This is actually, because I talked about it, This is the Aries path, right? This is Aries, but what's in Aries right now? Well, we have Chiron in Aries. So this is the path that the wounded healer walks. So what I said about the wisdom of beauty and the beauty of wisdom is the path of Chiron at this time. It is also the path of Eris, which is a planet that is about twice as far as Pluto. It's actually been in Aries since 1925 and will be there for many more years. So pretty much everybody born from 25 on, right? Everybody born from 25 on has Eris in Aries. And she is a feminine goddess. So she is a warrior goddess and she is a rebel. And so we can see why things are so rebellious. The 9 vibration, which is the vibration of the hermit, is right here. And this is connected to Tiphereth, which is beauty. I'm sorry, Hesed, which is mercy, to Tiphereth, which is beauty. Goodness gracious, I don't know what's wrong with me today. But because we're talking about the 9 path, I'm going to forgive myself for that, because this is the path of forgiveness, the 9. It's also it's the path of the way shower. And then lastly, the 14-5 vibration, which is right here. And this is connects Tiphereth, which is associated, you can see there's a little sun symbol there, and Yesod, which is associated with, this is the path between the moon and the sun. It is located on the middle path, and the middle path is the path of the middle path is the path of the present moment. And so because we're in a 14-5 month year vibration, September, it is important that we focus on what's right in front of us, the present moment. We cannot fear the future, and we cannot worry about the past and wring our hands about what was done and what wasn't done, and oh my God, and what's going to happen in the future. Our power is in the present moment, and our attention needs to be in the present moment as we walk the path that bridges the lower self, which is associated with the 3 lower chakras, to the higher self, which is found in the heart chakra. And we can see what chakras are activated here. Through the 5 vibration, we have the 3rd eye and the throat activated. Through the 9 vibration, we have the throat and the heart activated. And with the 14-5 vibration, we have the heart and the sacral chakra activated. The sacral chakra is a chakra, it's a lower chakra. It is the chakra associated with the element of water, about relationship. It's also about creativity. So we have access, not to just the create that we have in the upper, this part of the tree, the throat chakra, is where we co-create with spirit. We actually have access to the lower chakras, which are earthly chakras. So this, believe it or not, is a highly creative time for us. And we can really get a lot done and do a lot if we're not distracted by all those voices that are constantly chitter-chattering. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. Get a vaccine. Don't get a vaccine. I hate this. War is bad. War is good. Blah, 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 blah. Quiet it down. Quiet it down. And here's the chakras. Here we have the 3rd eye chakra called Aja. Aja means to know, to perceive, and to command. We have the throat chakra. Vishuddha means purification. Purification. The throat chakra is associated with our ability to co-create with spirit. This is where divine will expresses itself. And the words that we speak, the things that we say, have vibration comes around with this. So we have to be very aware of the words that we choose to use. Silence oftentimes is a better option than saying something if what you're going to say is not what you want to manifest. What do you want to manifest? Do you want to manifest peace in your heart? Do you want to manifest peace on the earth? Then you must of peace and balance, and you don't want to a protest for peace. While I'm not saying don't protest, if that's what you need to do, then you need to do that. If that is your focus and that is your goal, then go for it. But we do have to choose what we're gonna express, and we have to be very careful with our words. Here we have the heart chakra, anahata. Anahata means unstruck. Unstruck, it is the sound of creation, the Om. In the beginning was the word, right? Om. It was a sound that was created not because two things, like if we make sound here, it has to always be two things striking each other. You strike a bell, you clap your hands, you speak, the air vibrates against your vocal cords, the air hits your vocal cords and creates the sound. But anahata is the sound that is the sound of creation, and it is located in our heart. And then we have swadhisthana, which means sweetness, actually. And that's our sacral chakra. And that's the belly chakra, right? That's the belly. So following your gut in this situation is going to be important as well. How do you stay out of trouble? Listen to your gut instincts because they are active at this time. This is also the chakra associated with creativity, physical creativity. So this is, as I said, a very, very creative time. So we're going to look at the astrology, excuse me a second. We're going to look at the astrology of September. This is the first week, which is not really a week, from September 1st to September 4th. Each week I sort of give it like a theme, and this week is action on spiritual awareness and the structuring of the mind. So Wednesday, September 1st, which today? We have the sun in Virgo sextile the moon in Cancer. This is part of the synodic cycle between the monthly synodic cycle, also called the lunation cycle between the sun and the moon. And this is the point where this is the 300-degree point between the sun and the moon. So the moon is 300 degrees around the 360-degree circle in front of the sun, right? And it's returning back to the sun. This is part of the waning part of the cycle of the sun and the moon. The waxing goes from new to full, and the waning goes from full to new. The 300-degree point is the point where we find the sign of Aquarius. And so this 300-degree sextile has the energy of Aquarius, and it is the energy of what we know to know, right? It's also the point of progressive change. So we have an opportunity to move forward in a progressive way. The way forward, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, is progressive change. We cannot invest in the past. We need to look to it in a way that has a more humanitarian, raising all boats energy. That is the energy of the future. That is actually the only way we are going to survive as we move into the future. We need to work together to improve everybody, to everybody's place, right? So this progressive change that we have an opportunity to do, and sextiles work in that they're mentally stimulating, and we have an ability to make a change if we choose to. We don't have to make the change. It's not like a square crisis and you have to do something. It's not life or death here, it's choice. And I would say choose the progressive way. And this, if we remember, is part of the synodic cycle that began with that new moon in, right, on the 8/8 Lion's Gate, which is a portal of manifestation. So we can manifest. There is a lot of energy to actually be able to change things that we didn't think could change quickly, very quickly. We can really make a lot of progress now if we're willing to focus and see the necessity for the change. And of course, the Sabian symbol for the 17th degree of Leo, which was the degree of the new moon, is volunteer choir, singing religious hymns, the feeling of togetherness which unites men and women in their dedication to a collective ideal. And the collective ideal is progressivism, folks, plain and simple. Plain, maybe not so simple. All right, so Thursday, September 2nd, which happens to be a 16/7 vibration, that is the Tower vibration. We have Mars making an opposition to Neptune. This is occurring at 23 Virgo Pisces. Mars is in Virgo, of course, Neptune is in Pisces. This is the harvest point of seed planted at the initial conjunction. Mars cycles are 2 years long. So this initial conjunction actually occurred June 13th of 2020 at 21 degrees of Pisces. 21 degrees of Pisces. So this is the initiation that occurred a year ago, a little over a year ago. It says, under the watchful and kind eye of any servant, a girl fondles a little white lamb. The growth in consciousness in its earliest tactile awareness of the wonders of unsophisticated living. There's a lot of symbology in this particular symbol, and I could probably talk a good 15 minutes on it, which I won't because we don't want to keep you here too long. But there's a couple of issues that here, the wonders of unsophisticated living, going back to nature, seeing how things are connected. We're so disconnected, our lives are so disconnected from life that we're not aware of our connection and our deep connection to the earth and to life, unless something like, Hurricane Ida comes through and people don't have electricity, or people don't have food, or people don't have a home. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, here's nature. And, so in a way, these tragedies and these challenges bring us closer to what is basic and necessary for us. What are our essential needs? Essential needs is a Taurus thing. And Uranus is in Taurus to wake us up to say, what is the thing that's most important? Is it important to have 2 televisions, 5 cars, the best gaming system, a giant diamond tiara? What do you really need? You need food. You need food, nutritious food, clean air, you need a roof over your head. You need opportunity for yourself and your children to live a good life, And a good has a different definition for some, for different people. But the essential needs are the essential needs. The last time that Uranus was in Taurus was during the Depression. And so, what was essential at that time, right? So we're brought to this place to remind us of our connection to the earth and what is essential in our lives. So there's that's in the symbol that I see in the symbol. There's also, if you read the book, and this is the book, it's Dane Rudger's An Astrological Mandala. Okay. He speaks a Chinese servant being from a prior root race than the girl with the white lamb, and that one root race is in service to the next root race, and not in service like they're your servants, right? But in service in that their wisdom guides us as we our own wisdom. Okay, so that was the original symbol. We're at 23 degrees. The opposition is at 23. So what's at 23? Well, the 23 degrees for Virgo is a lion tamer, displays skill and character, the need to tame one's vital energies in order to fulfill one's destiny, right? Walking the straight and narrow. A lion tamer has to pay attention to what he's doing, because the minute he turns his back and is not paying attention where his attention should be, oh yeah, the lion will, right, take his, well, whatever the lion will do. It won't be fun, it won't be good, it won't be feel good. So the lion tamer is an ability for us to tame our vital energies, to tame that Mars, right? Mars is our energy to live and be vital. And the 23 degrees of Neptune, and 20 degrees of Neptune in Pisces is, that should say Pisces, not Neptune. 23 degrees of Neptune. A materializing medium gives a seance, the ability to give one's own vital energy to substantiate one's conscious ideals, unconscious desires. This, I was actually listening to some astrologers today. If you don't ever watch the Astrology podcast with Chris Brennan, they do a monthly, and he had, I can't think of the guy's name. His last name is Kopic, and Rick Levine, and it was, definitely watch it. But they talk about this aspect, the opposition between Mars and Neptune. And this is, Mars is your vital energy and Neptune is your ideal. So they said something that you can either be a genius or a fool with this energy. But it's important that put your energy into your dreams. This is making your dreams come true. Really important as to what those dreams are. Dream that, in my estimation, dreams that bring us into unity, which is a Neptune thing, and bring us towards a more understanding and compassion, love, right? That 9 vibration is where the vital energy needs to go. We also have to take into consideration that the axis of Pisces and Virgo is the axis of healing. And the interesting thing is now, as here in America, where we have this, split between those people who think the vaccine is a good idea, those people who don't think the vaccine is a good idea, and those people who want to wear masks, and those people, well, nobody wants to wear masks, but people who are willing to wear masks, and those people who are unwilling to wear masks. It's this weird belief thing, right? Like there's science and then there's belief. Like, I'm not going to trust science. I'm just going to believe what I want to believe. That in part has to do with the fact that the nodes are in Gemini, which is facts, and Sag, which is beliefs. The South Node is in Sag, letting go of beliefs that no longer serve our evolution. Here in America, for many years, there's been a distrust of science and a denial of science, mostly by Republicans. But it's not just Republicans. And then, sometimes as soon as it gets involved in these things like big pharma, then nobody trusts anybody because they're money doing it. And I don't think that's an unreasonable thing, because healthcare should never be for profit, ever, in any way, because instead of the energy going to the person who is there to be healed, it's like the people are just fodder for this making money on people's sickness. It's quite sick, actually. It's quite ill. So these are all issues that come up. The Sabian symbol for that materializing medium giving a seance is, if you truly can do that, and some people can do that, if you're truly gifted in that way, then you're coming from the right place. But if you're trying to prove yourself through an possibility, so things aren't particularly clear, but we still need to put our energy in the direction, Virgo direction, right, which is that 9, the direction of our wisdom and what we know to be true. Okay. And here we have the initial conjunction. Here we have the initial, let me find it. Oh, here we go. Yep. It was in the 8th house. This is for the US. This is for Washington, D.C. So there's the initial conjunction. And now position, which is here, 10th house and 4th house. We have Pallas Athena conjunct Neptune here. This is social justice. Over here. See if there's anything else worth pointing out here. We do have the moon in a supportive trine to Neptune and a supportive sextile. Oops, sorry about that. A supportive sextile to Mars. Okay. And we do have a Venus and Neptune. That's sort of needing to make emotional adjustments. Venus and Neptune reminds us that we need to get along. Get along. Okay. All right. So that's that. Now I want to forward it and then we'll go. Friday, September 3rd, we have Venus in conjunct Neptune. I just talked about that, right? At 23 degrees of Pisces, Libra Pisces. This aspect can cause us to be attracted to inaccurate perceptions of others. So our perceptions of others are not particularly clear. And that would especially be true in relationships. So we have to be careful. We're not seeing our lover or the people that we love clearly at this time. We can be over idealistic about them, or we could be opposite. We could be very critical of them because the in conjunct has the energy of Virgo and Scorpio. And it is an energy in which we need to make adjustments. We need to make adjustments. And in this case, it's emotional adjustments. It's emotional adjustments, which are, in my estimation, the most difficult to do. Saturday, September 4th, we have Mercury trine Saturn at 8 degrees of Libra Aquarius. This is a trine of social rewards. We actually have a number of very powerful trines happening at the beginning of the month. And three of them are happening on the new moon, which we will cover. But Mercury and Saturn are structuring of the mind, the structures and structuring the mind of society. Mercury in Libra is an ability to talk to, come to compromise. Don't watch the news when it comes to the political stuff. It'll drive you nuts. But I would say, we need to send all the positive energy and healing to the president. This is for America. Sorry, guys, for everybody else. Because he's in a lot of, he has a lot of pressure on him. But I don't think I think of him, it doesn't care, because he knows in his heart what he had to do. And I don't agree with everything that he says all the time, and I haven't always agreed with him as far as what he's done in the past. But as I said, it's not about the past. And it's not really even about, it's about in the moment and what do we need to do in this moment, right? Okay. Sunday, September 5th, we have Venus making a square to Pluto. This is the last quarter crisis in consciousness square. We are questioning authority. We have Venus in Libra, which she is powerful in, and we have Pluto in Capricorn. And of course, is the planet of power. In Capricorn, it can be the power of the government or the power of the structure of society. Yet Pluto also is breaking that structure down, right? This is the 3/4 mark of the synodic cycle that began on January 28th of 2021 at 26 degrees of Capricorn. The initial conjunction was at 26 degrees. And it says, a nature spirit dancing in the iridescent mist of a waterfall, the ability to perceive hidden and creative spirits of natural phenomena. This is talking of nature, our connection to nature. And so are those people in respecting our connection to nature or denying it? You decide. All right, Monday, September 6th. It is a 20/2 vibration. It is the new moon at 15 degrees of Virgo. For some people, it is going to be on the 7th, and it'll be a 21/3 vibration, which is a little bit of a different vibration. The 20/2 vibration, who have the new moon on Monday, is actually a Pluto vibration. For those who are going to have this happen on the 7th, is actually a Saturn vibration. So one is transformational and one is structural. So this is the Sabian symbol for 15 degrees of Virgo, an heirloom from valorous ancestors. The keynote is the quiescence of deeds well done. So this is about the idea of the aristocracy, but the true meaning of aristocracy as that this person is receiving this handkerchief from his beloved as a token for his highest expression of his lineage. And so we're being required, we all have that aristocratic ability to be the highest vibration of our lineage. And so what is being asked of us is that we do our best. And one thing about Virgo is they always do their best. They always do their best. So, and they don't, and it's not just about best, but it's a constant, having to constantly make adjustments to improve and improve and improve and improve. On this day, besides there being this new moon, we actually have 3 major trines coming to exactitude. 2 waning trines, meaning they are the waning part of the hemicycle is about releasing something out into society. And them is a waxing trine, which is the bottom hemicycle, right? From moon to full, and that's building. So we're releasing our knowledge. We're releasing that into society that's going to help society. At the same time, we are constantly creating new ways. So let's talk about the trines. The 2 meaning trines. The first one is Mars trine Pluto, and the second one is Venus trine Jupiter. And then and those are both Sagittarius side trines. So that's sharing our knowledge, social rewards. And then we have one trine of creative self-expression, which is the Sun trine Uranus. So the Sun and Uranus, sun, moon, the new moon is actually 1 minute away from an exact trine to Uranus. Shortly after the new moon, the sun, first the moon makes the trine to Uranus, exactly, and then the sun makes the trine to Uranus exactly on the same day. So the energy of this trine is there in this creative self-expression, creativity, sacral chakra, right? The moon, Yesod, the foundation that we looked at on the tree of life. We also have one exact inconjunct, Mars inconjunct Jupiter. There is always the danger of overextending yourself, especially when trying to be helpful. So we have to keep in mind through this new moon and this cycle that we have a lot of powerful energies at our disposal that we can utilize by channeling them through us. We're not really doing the work. We are the conduit of that work. The divine is actually the higher vibrational stuff that to do the work that is necessary, to do the healing that is necessary. So as bad as it looks out there, everything that we see, we work to improve. Is it going to be ideal and perfect? No, because life isn't perfect, but we can make it better. But that's what we focus on. We need to focus on making things work more smoothly, more perfectly, that whole perfect union they talk about. So let's talk about these trines because they're important. So Mars trine Pluto, this is the trine of social rewards. It's a disseminating trine of the seeds planted on March 23rd, 2020. These two planets came together at 25 degrees of Capricorn. Here in the US, that's when we went into lockdown. And now we're at the 240 degree mark. And this is the trine of social rewards. So what have we learned through that experience? And what are we going to offer to society? You know, very often I'll say, not yet, don't say it yet, don't express it yet, it's not time, people aren't going to be open to it, it's still a struggle. This is a flow. And Mars is your energy, right? The initial conjunction occurred in Capricorn, Mars and Capricorn. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. It's about doing your work. What are you here to do? Do your work well and do it to the best of your ability for the benefit of society. 25 degrees of Capricorn, where the initial conjunction occurred, is a store filled with precious Oriental rugs. The use of cultural and artistic processes as a means to enhance personal comfort and appreciation. You know, life is hard and we can make it easier or we can make it harder. This is a request to make it a bit easier on ourselves. Venus and Jupiter are the greater, Venus is the lesser benefic, called the lesser benefic. Jupiter is the greater benefic. They are considered lucky. And so there's a lot of luck here. And Venus is, so she's power is not as powerful because Aquarius is a sign that's ruled by Saturn. It's not like being in Saturn ruled signs. Now, Jupiter was in Pisces for a little while and will go into Pisces the end of the year, and Jupiter much more at home in Pisces, and Jupiter is exalted in Pisces. So there is great healing that's coming in the future for us, but of course we can't focus too much on the future. We have to be in the moment, right? Okay, so this is a trine of the seeds planted back on February 11th of 2021, when these two planets came together at 13 degrees of Aquarius. The main symbol for 13 degrees of Aquarius is barometer, the ability to discover basic natural facts that allow us to plan and advance for action. plan in advance for action. We know what's happening, don't we? We see what's happening. We see what's happening in our relationships. Venus in Libra, we see what's happening in society. Jupiter in Aquarius, expanding the Aquarian ideals of brotherhood and sisterhood. That's the energy available to us on this new moon in Virgo. Roll up your sleeves and do it, guys. And then we have the Sun trine Uranus, which is the waxing trine. This is the building trine. This is the creative self-expressive trine. This is the Leo side trine, right? This is Leo, the sun, the life giver, right? Creative self-expression trine of seeds planted on April 30th, 2021 at 11 degrees of Taurus. This is when the Sun and Uranus came together. And it says 11 degrees of Taurus, during a silent hour, a man receives a new inspiration, which may change his life. Excuse me. The need to rely on inner inspiration and guidance start at the start of new developments. Listening to that small, still voice within, that's 5. That's the path of the Hierophant. That's Uranus in Taurus. And here is the chart. Now this thing, I do a ongoing astrology class for my students and for anybody who really is interested in astrology and relatively well versed. So if you're interested in anything like that, I do them on Tuesday. So you can pay, in a group if you want, like more than one class, or you can just try it out and see if you like it. But we practically the whole 2 hours on the new moon and the full moon, but especially the new moon, because there's just so much stuff going on here. And so we have the new moon here. Now this is for the Washington, D.C. It's in the 5th house of creative self-expression. It's the Leo house. So this can be a highly creative time for us, coming up creations that can help support Virgo, our healing and fixing what is broken. We have Mars trine Pluto, Venus trine Jupiter, Uranus trine the sun and moon, right? But also, it's not just trines here. We also have the trine, well, there's another trine that was exact before this happened, and that's Mercury and Saturn, the stabilization of the mind. And this is a waning trine. This is Sagittarius side trine. Also have a very powerful opposition between Mercury in Libra and Chiron in Aries. This is, Mercury in Libra. Let's talk about the wounds. We also have Eris that just recently made its 4th exact square to Pluto. There's 5 in this series. The last one is happening in October. This is the revolution here. This is the last quarter crisis in consciousness square. And then opposite, we have Venus and Vesta. And if we take the midpoint, it's probably exactly on Eris. So T-squares, trines are flowing aspects that we don't have to use the trine. We can use the trine. We can access the trine, but there's nothing forcing us to do it. Where our hand is being forced is with Pluto squaring Eris, Pluto squaring Venus, Pluto squaring Vesta, and this whole T-square. And what's opposite of this T-square is Cancer, 24 degrees of Cancer, which is the Mercury for the United States, which happens to be retrograde. This is for the Sibley chart, but it's also the Jupiter of the president, Biden. And Jupiter is associated with wisdom, and he has Jupiter in Cancer. So it's the wisdom of his feelings and his heart. So send him as much love and light as you can. Okay. He has a lot of work ahead of him, but he can do it, especially with our help. And I don't mean like, I mean, just light and love, light and love, light and love. And then the next thing that happens is a number of days later, because enough is happening on that new moon that will be like reeling for quite a while. It's like May the 10th, we have Mercury at 15 Libra and Taurus. Mercury's in Libra because Uranus is in Taurus. This is actually the first of 3 between these 2 planets. And of course, because we're dealing with inconjuncts, there's a need for adjustment in your thinking. As new innovative is all this new Uranian, new ideas, innovation, some of it due to the shock and awe that Uranus can do for us. The other 2 conjunctions occur on October 12th and October 24th. The reason we have 3 of these, at the end of this month, Mercury goes retrograde. So this particular inconjunct is one with Mercury direct. The one on October 12th is Mercury retrograde, and the one October 4th is going to be Mercury direct again. So we'll be making a lot of adjustments, especially because there's new information coming in for us. So just focus ahead. New information comes in, utilize it. New information comes in, utilize it. You know that expression, it's the journey? Well, it's the journey. The initial Taurus says a woman watering flowers in her garden, the development of the powers of the mind on which ego consciousness is based. What seeds have you planted, and are you nurturing them? That's the question. So that's where we're going to end today. Now, I generally do a reading for the week, but I did do, hold on, oh, there we go, hi. I did do one for the new moon, so I think I'm going to keep, and I'll do another reading when I do more astrology. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, share this if you find this information helpful. I know I use a lot of words. I know sometimes I use a lot of terms, but you know, somebody's interested in astrology, they might be interested in this. Somebody's interested in Kabbalah, they might be interested in this. The more likes I can get, the more you share it with the people that you know, the more people will get to hear what I have to say about it. If you think it's important for other people to hear it, I would love to share my work with them. As always, I send all my heartfelt love and appreciation for you. Thank you for spending this time with me, for giving me your attention in this. It means the world to me. This is my path. This is what I do. This is me shining my light. And if you can help me shine it a little bit further, it's greatly appreciated. Much love, everyone. Namaste.